Ox, I don't think it's ridiculous to what Swiper said about this being. I know that we're men and we got to be strong and all of that kind of stuff. But one, Luka's still young. Number two, he's been with this franchise for 7 years. He got blindsided. Understanding the business of basketball and anybody could be traded, but a guy like Luka in the situation that he was in, one of the 5 best players in the game, the best player arguably that this franchise has ever had in entering the prime of his career at this point. Yeah,
which team?
There's people who've said to me is that Luka is the best player that the Dallas Mavericks have ever had. So that's
a lot to you too.
Yeah, the 100% they have.
I thought you were talking about the Lakers. That's what
I thought that's what I
I'm with the Dallas Mavericks right now, and for him to be blindsided and to now go to, for all intents and purposes, a bitter rival. I mean, this is a team that they could have seen in the playoffs. This is a team that he's been battling with. This is a guy in LeBron James who he's been battling with, who he had no intention of playing with. I mean, I don't think that when his contract was up, he was going to the Lakers. No. So this is going to be an adjustment period for him. And to your point, Swiper, yes, he's feeling some type of way about it. It's obvious what he looks like out there, that he's not totally accustomed to what's going on. That game turned last night, however, Ox, when Reeves got thrown out of the game. They were rolling before.
When Reeves, that was the end of the game right there. They were going to win that basketball game.
I thought they were.
Reeves got out. My thing is, and I don't want to get back into it because I know the last week and a half before All-Star break, we were just talking about Mavericks, Lakers, Luka, AD. But I just got to say, like, why are we not talking about the fact that Anthony Davis got blindsided? Anthony Davis got traded too. You know what I'm saying? What about his achy breaky heart? You know what I mean? What about Anthony Davis' feelings and emotions?
Well, here's the difference, though.
He's sidelined right now.
Is this the view?
What I'm saying is, Penn, Anthony Davis might be sad too. He walking around his Dallas condo singing Teddy Pendergrass. It's so good loving somebody when somebody loves you back.
Only difference is that's not what's
nobody
going
loving
on.
back. Ain't nobody loving it back.
I can tell y'all grew up in the same household, y'all. Go ahead.
It would actually be more like "I Miss You, Baby" from Teddy Pendergrass. That's actually what it would be.
Hey, my favorite Teddy Pendergrass is "Close the Door."
But to Penn's point, but to Penn's point, but to Penn's point, well, Anthony Davis, he was traded before, and he wasn't blindsided, so he understands the business of basketball, that he could be moved. And there were rumblings that, even though he did get a contract extension, this isn't ridiculous to think that Anthony Davis could be traded at some point. So I don't think that he took it as hard as Luka did, because he understands. He's been in the league for over 10 years. This is 12 years he's been in the league, and he understands what this is. But Luka, on the other hand, he was supposed to be with the Dallas Mavericks. Their last star was there 20 years. Luka is going to be the next guy who's going to be there for the next 15 years and never leave them. And for them to recognize they don't want me anymore. I mean, it's definitely heartbreaking, no doubt about it. And it's going to be some time before Luka adjusts to this. Yes, it's definitely going to be some time before he adjusts to this.
I feel like this is a PR thing, right? Like, Luka is the victim in this situation somehow, because we have all assumed that he was going to stay forever.
Right.
And I don't believe that for a second. No, I don't.
What about Luka suggested that he may have left Dallas? What about it?
Honestly, I've been saying he's going to the Lakers for 2 years. To anyone who would listen.
Oh, so you saw this coming?
But on his own, by his own choice, though, right?
Chill.
Wow.
Literally on Friday, when we had that episode, and Swiper was saying he's never going to leave. I said he don't be so sure, he could leave, and he said, and I said L.A. Literally the Friday. I know you know on social media.
We got the clip. I seen it.
We got the clip. So what I'm saying is, like, this was always going to happen one way or
another. You were assuming Luka would leave, right?
That's exactly it. I didn't expect that they would trade him. I thought that they would trade him only if he requested, hey, I'm not coming back. But then someone told me, I was like, he's going to sign, and then he's going to push his way to LA. So my perspective on this would be that if they saw this coming ahead of time, they were just like, you know what? The next 2 years, we're going to be dealing with injuries and a disheartened superstar who kind of just saving himself for LA. Let's just get out of the way now. But the way they've handled this is Luka got blindsided because Luka wanted to be there forever. I feel like Luka signs a super max extension and he's out. That's how I felt about it. But obviously, if he leaves Dallas by request, then he's a pariah and he's the bad guy. Now he's the ultimate victim right now.
But Penn, I want to stay right there. And even though you have been saying this, I'm sorry if I don't remember, but even if you have been saying it, what's his motivation for leaving Dallas? They were building a unit around him. They were in the Western Conference Championship
much better
twice
team.
in the last.
First of all, so many motivations.
They were in the Western Conference Championship twice in the last 3 years. They were in the NBA Championship last season. They're clearly building this unit around him. He can make the most money in Dallas. He can be an icon in Dallas. He could be the face of that franchise. He could be the face of the franchise in Los Angeles, sure, but it wouldn't be the same as it would be in Dallas because he was picked there. Not only was he picked there, he'd been there for what I think we're in year 8 now, or year 7. That we're with Luka. I think we're in year 7.
It's so ironic that I have Shaquille O'Neal's cousin preaching to me about staying home with the team that drafted you. Come on.
Okay, before we go any further, I just want you to know Shaq would have never left Orlando if they would have just matched the money. He would have never left. He didn't want to go.
Well,
he ended up in Los Angeles because they made an offer that he could not refuse. He had no intention of leaving Orlando.
Chill, would Luka have stayed if they didn't pay him the Supermax?
I think if they
didn't pay him the Supermax.
No.
I don't.
But Luka, everything Luka
they foreseen the future.
To Luka's public comments though, he's never indicated, and then he even specified in when they were in the interview with Rob Pelinka and them, like that he had full intention of signing, staying, and there was nothing that was indicating for him that he was going to leave. That at least on his side.
But he let something slip. It was a Freudian slip during that interview that you're talking about. Go back and listen to it. I clipped it where he said, "Obviously, we all knew this day would come."
Obviously, wow.
I
So
don't remember that.
Go back and listen to it. I clipped it, and I was just like, "All right, okay." So there's this entire web of conspiracies. Obviously, conspiracy theories are weird to me with the NBA, but there's a lot of them when someone's lying about something. To this day, people cannot believe. Oh, LeBron didn't know. AD didn't know. How does that happen? How do the two of the biggest stars in the NBA who are signed with Clutch Sports not know about a deal being executed with a Clutch client? Like, this just doesn't happen. So,
well, wait a minute though, Penn. I mean, we don't know about the goings on of every. If I'm signed to an agency with you, and I might be a bigger deal there, and you're a bigger deal there, that doesn't mean that I know what's going on with you. That's your business. I don't know that. No, I know what's going on in my business. That doesn't necessarily mean that I know what's going on with you.
Yeah,
they don't disclose your business with me, just like they don't disclose my business with you.
Like every single time a really major star changes teams, there's always a backlash. KD, snake. To this day, people call him a snake for leaving. LeBron, the decision,
which
right?
he is.
So look, he's not. But what I'm saying is, if you're Luka's management, if you're Luka, if you're his PR team, you knew that if he left Dallas under the wrong circumstances, he's a bad guy. There's no way around it. So right now, the Dallas Mavericks are the bad guys. So I'm just saying, for Luka's perspective, you asked why would he want to be a Laker? I will tell you this from the perspective of someone who is coming from Eastern Europe.
Yep.
California is a big deal. LA is a big deal. The Lakers are a big deal. Vlade played for the Lakers.
You spin right now, Penn. California showing up is a big deal. Well, you ain't talking not a lie.
All the colors of the rainbow in California.
That's not why,
hey, Mr. Atlanta.
That would not be the selling point of for a kid from Eastern Europe, but for kids from Eastern Europe, New York, LA, very lesser degree Chicago, but that's basically America.
Sure.
Like if you're American, Indiana's America. If you're Yugoslavian or someone from those countries, Indiana's nothing. You don't know about it. You don't hear about it. It's just LA, the Lakers, the Celtics. These are the big things. And honestly, like we didn't get a lot of games back in the day. So Luka's father and stuff like that, you got to understand the iconicization. That's not even a real word of the Lakers lore for a kid who grew up, maybe a fan of certain California teams. Maybe grew up a fan of Vlade and Peja on the Sacramento Kings or Magic Johnson. I mean, look at how Luka plays. He's also said LeBron's his favorite player.
Sure.
And we've kind
of gotten used to this idea that European stars stay home. We've always gotten used to this because the foreign stars, not even European stars, it's the foreign stars. Hakeem stayed with Houston pretty much his entire career. Tim Duncan, technically foreign, but Virgin Islands, he stayed. Dirk stayed. Like, we just get used to the fact that these foreign stars don't demand out. But Luka doesn't strike me as like your typical foreign player. He doesn't have the same vibe around him. He strikes me as very different. Right. Like, he's a different breed. So I just always felt he was going to leave. So I'm not too surprised he left. I'm surprised how he left. But
that's definitely surprising, Pin, the way it happened.
Yeah, so he wasn't. So in your estimation, Pin, he wasn't leaving Dallas because they didn't have a chance to win. It would have been more of a business decision. You know what?
It's 100% a business decision.
I can probably profit more. I can be a bigger deal in Los Angeles. We can win in Los Angeles, just like I have an opportunity to win in Dallas. But I'll be a bigger deal winning in Los Angeles than I will in Dallas. Well, if that's the case, then why isn't he performing up to snuff now? Because apparently this is where he wants to be. It doesn't look like this is where he wants to be, though. It looks like this.
You spitting, Chill.
It doesn't look like this is where he wants to be. It looks to me like, Ox, I got put in this class. Fine, I got to sit here and I'll do the work. I really don't want to be here, but I'll be here.
I hate to step in and interrupt this intense yap session that you're currently watching, but I just have to inform you on all the amazing, spectacular, fabulous, endless ways to play and win over at PrizePicks. Basketball fans, I know the season is just tipping off. Yes, I know this. But you know what that means? It means that you have an opportunity to pick your favorite players and their matchups that are the most thrilling, and you can win money from these. With PrizePicks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections and every single stat line imaginable to make your PrizePicks and take home some nice hard-earned cash. Are you a rookie in the game? Don't even sweat it. I got the playbook for you right here. All you have to do is download PrizePicks, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play 5 here with PrizePicks. So what are you waiting for? Download PrizePicks, use promo code PANEL, and join me as we break down all of our amazing daily picks right here on the panel. PrizePicks. Run your game, control your game, win your game. It's easy, baby. It's easy.
He does look like what am I doing here? Right, so earlier I'm trying to give him while holding him accountable. I am trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know what the injury, the recovery, I don't know that. So I'm trying to give him a little bit of the Benny while still holding him accountable. You can see towards the end of that game, he was cooked. He was gassed. He was exhausted. Like the one play, remember he got the offensive rebound, got real patient, went back up strong. Good bucket. Yeah. I like to see
looking like Kevin Love down there.
Facts. After that, there was a couple situations where you could see he had his hands on his knees. He was bent over, huffing and puffing. They called the timeout. They were walking there. It took Luka a couple seconds to stand up and get to the bench. He was exhausted. Now I don't know. Maybe
now
he just has to walking himself back in. I don't know.
Now I have to give Luka a little bit of grace here because remember, I mean, what's this? His third game with the Lakers now. This is his third game. So those two previous games, he hadn't played in almost 2 months. It was 6 weeks, right? And then we had the All-Star break, so now that's another week off. And then now he's back in the lineup. So I do have to give him some sort of grace in that aspect that he's getting acclimated to playing. I ain't even talking about playing with the Lakers. I'm just talking about playing, Penn. I'm just talking about getting back on the floor.
If that's the case,
I am going to do that. Right?
If that's the case, you got to give him historical grace. You got to give him his 7-year grace.
Bro, there's not Jay Crowder. Like, he's not just gonna meld into a lineup. He is a very ball dominant player, and he is a very central player. And this is a guy who is being asked to just jump into a moving car. I said this thing about Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler can do this. I don't think a guy like Luka can just come onto a team.
He's supposed to be some all-time greats, Pin. It's not like LeBron. Like,
all-time great doesn't mean you can automatically understand 11 teammates when you are such a heliocentric part of how your team runs. Also, it's not like the Lakers are running the Dallas Mavericks offensive sets right now to make Luka more comfortable or whatever. Like, he's playing with completely different levels of talent. He's playing with completely different players. Yeah, sure.
Worst talent.
He's just standing over there. Bron got the ball over here. He just chilling. Austin Reeves over here working. He just.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up, Ox.
You got to know how to move without the ball.
Yeah,
that's easy work. That's 101. You have to know how to move without the ball. That's 101. There's no way around that. There's no excuse for not knowing how to move without the ball. I don't care how heliocentric you are. If you don't got the ball, be unheliocentric. Move.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Ox, because before Austin Reeves got tossed, I mean, I saw 4 different actions from James where he's picking and popping, picking and diving, and the ball is moving more. Luka is moving a little bit more. Well, now Austin Reeves gets tossed. I'm watching a lot of ball watching. I'm watching a lot of James now has the ball. I think he had 12 or 10 or 12 in the third quarter. I'm seeing a lot of guys just standing around watching. The ball's not moving anymore. He's doing a lot more one-on-one stuff that he did before that happened, and the game completely changed. The game completely changed when Austin Reeves got tossed. Before that, James is running action with Austin Reeves where he's picking and diving, where he's picking and popping. The ball is moving a lot more. It's hopping more. Now, all of a sudden, I'm watching Luka on the right corner. He's standing and watching. I'm watching Gabe Vincent in the left corner. He's standing and watching. James got the ball at the top. There's not much going on then.
Up at the top, he's up on that left wing, left elbow area, just chilling. Like you can't be right there not moving. If you stuck in the corner and you're not moving for a little bit, okay. But you out here, you know what I'm saying? Above the break on the left side, no motion in this whole area on the floor. We can't have that. They do got the one little set that I've seen where it's Luka, Bron, and Jackson. Looks like they kind of picking the picker type situation a little bit. I'm not exactly. I saw it a few times. I didn't really, go back and hone in on it. But I saw that type of motion up there. I like that. You know what I mean? Because that's quick action. And they're both incredible passers. Talking about LeBron and Luka, they're both incredible passers. So that works out good, especially if Luka's the one picking the picker and then popping. Then that gives Bron the ability to work this side of the floor, kick it to Luka, who's a much better shooter than LeBron, throw the lob to Jackson, whatever they want to do. So I like that. I like that.
Be that as it may, Luka has struggled for 3 games. Y'all say the Lakers are less talented. The fit could be a little sticky, if you will. But y'all know it's about to be up, right?
What you mean?
I don't know that. How do I know that?
If Bron, because I just told you, fool. If Bron playing like this, and he don't even got to play like this. If Bron is somewhere at this level, come on, like y'all know, we know who Luka Doncic is. Like we know once, like last night. Honestly, last night he shot 5 for 18 from the field, 1 for 9 from 3. I don't have to sound. I don't sound like a
13-win Hornets team. By the way,
I'm not.
That had no idea what it was doing.
The Hornets aren't the reason why Luka Doncic missed his shots last night.
No, but I'm saying you realize like if the Hornets,
Luka Doncic missed his shots last night. We don't. Defense isn't the reason why Luka Doncic misses his shots.
Bro, why he not in shape yet?
I'm not even. I think the basketball side of this.
We don't know what his rehabilitation
didn't even know
was
what
like.
they were doing, Ron. They were literally there. That first quarter, they were lucky that the Hornets were not making wide open blank paint shots or just.
And the Hornets are lucky that Luka wasn't making his shots.
No, but
I can say the same thing.
No, because this is the issue. That's not a good basketball team. What I'm saying is that even when Luka figures it out, my whole issue with the Lakers is I don't like how they're built. Period. I think Luka, Bron, sure, like let them go be Luka and Bron, like that's fine. But like most of the thought process that I've heard behind why the Lakers are going to be good, and I do think the Lakers can win some basketball series. I think they can beat the Rockets. We've already had this discussion. I think Memphis would be an interesting series. But again, this is also assuming that the Lakers get to a certain point where Luka and Bron are 100%. They're able to be the best version of themselves, and then the Lakers 5-out offense, which is what apparently like I think their media folks are arguing for, or their switch defense, what their media is arguing for. That stuff is going to be sustainable enough where they can win at a very high level. And I'm saying to you that I don't like how the team is constructed this year. Now, next year, it's a different story. I do think they're going to find a real center next year, and they're probably going to find a replacement for Rui, maybe. Who knows? Literally, like in my head, there's no reason they don't have Bam Adebayo on their roster next year because they're the Lakers. You never know. You literally never know what the Lakers are going to have. So I don't want to say for next year, but I'm saying for this year right now, Ron, even if Luka and them will figure out the shot stuff, like there are still, I think, so many holes in what they actually need. And like they were playing Alex Len a pretty good amount yesterday, but he had to play. Like he had to get those minutes.
About Ox, when you talk about Lynn, I do. I see what you're talking about Ox. I get it. I 100% get it.
And with that, he's just tall, and this is like
One of them big for nothing
Oh,
type of dudes. Yeah, one of those big for nothing kind of dudes.
He's a good rebounder.
What everything that Swiper just said, it sounds to me like Anthony Davis was a lot more important to the Lakers than we let on. Yeah, he was a lot more to the Lakers. He was a lot more important than was let on. And
do y'all think they were? I think they were a better team with Anthony Davis than where they are right now currently with Luka. But that's just because of the roster construction.
Yeah,
Only
and the Mavericks are better with Anthony Davis now than they were with Luka.
I don't agree.
Why though, Swiper? Because this is what I'm asking. Okay,
I saw them before he went down this year, by the way.
Right, and I saw Anthony Davis get in that lineup. Right, we saw Anthony Davis get in that lineup with PJ, with Gafford. We haven't seen him with Lively yet, right? Yeah. With Lively yet, with Najee Marshall, and what this team could possibly be, just from a defensive standpoint. And we know Anthony Davis can score. We know he's a defender who can score. So with that being said, why is it ridiculous to think that with Anthony Davis in this lineup, they can't be better defensively, which is what they're going to be built on, plus be a good offensive team? Why can't that be enough to go deep into the playoffs?
Kyrie was playing 42 minutes a game, and so they knew they were completely dependent on Kyrie and his ability to make, and shot create, and even for other people. So I think the issue is, I also said to you though that I think if you told me straight up everybody's healthy going into the off, I could make an argument that the Mavericks are the third best team in the Western Conference. I thought that highly of them.
But Swiper, AD can't anchor a defense.
Who said that?
What?
Some things I heard.
Okay.
That's not necessarily true. But am I ridiculous to assume that Luka is not going to get it together this season? Like, this may take longer than the rest of the season.
He's not going to be this bad. He's not.
I'm not saying he's going to be. I'm not
February 20th.
Okay, we got Swiper 2 months from yesterday. The playoffs start. Just so you know,
29 games,
27 games. 2 months from yesterday, the playoffs start. So it's not like we still got 3 or 4 months left. We only got 8 weeks, and then the playoffs start. And I can appreciate your logic.
It's really a sprint to the finish line, too.
It really is. It really is, Ron and Penn. I can appreciate your logic that he's not going to be this bad. But I'm also not going to get. I don't think I'm going to get 38-8 Luka neither. I'm not getting that dude.
When?
So what am I actually getting?
2 months?
Yeah, I'm not getting that dude.
I feel like by next month, Luka's going to give you. Well, if that, he'll have a 38-8 game. I mean, that's not that far away.
I'm talking about on a Tuesday.
He's played 3 games with the Lakers.
Well, it's Thursday right now.
All of them against terrible teams. Okay, Utah, Charlotte. Right. Sure. Through those 3 games with presumably terrible teams with not very good players, he has been possibly the worst player in the NBA during that stretch. Wow. Not a joke. Look at the numbers, Mars. He is a negative 9.1 box plus minus through 3 games, which is absolutely insane.
Now mind you, Mars, Killian Hayes.
He's shooting 43.8% true shooting, which is a number that would make Killian Hayes himself blush. Okay. He has negative 0.3 offensive win shares, which is hard to do in 3 games, honestly, against such terrible competition. So to put it nicely, there's no way in hell he could be this bad, because the bad that he is right now is like a worse player than the worst version of Bronny James.
What about when they start playing better teams in these next 29 games?
Luka is one of those players, or it doesn't really matter who he plays. Like, to me, like, we've seen him go at Clippers, Kawhi, Clippers, Paul George. We've seen him do it in the playoffs.
That was a different Luka. That was 30 pounds ago.
It was not 30 pounds ago, Ox. It was maybe at best 12 pounds ago. But what I'm saying is, he's not really a player that's bothered too much by other people. And that's kind of a hallmark of most stars. It's like, you can't really change how they get to their spots. There's not a defense or coverage that's going to stop him. Right now, I think he's just a little uncomfortable with the new situation. I think, like, if we break down the game last night, it really came down to a few things. Number 1, their defense. Number 2, Austin Reeves getting kicked out. Number 3, Rui Hachimura. Wow. The disaster class that was at the end. Missing back-to-back free throws. Passing up shots.
Oh, yes. That was.
Why are people so hard on Rui? Like, I
think people are hard on him because he's talented, but he occasionally just.
Well,
really,
but you know,
really
some of the like in the Lakers media cartel, obviously, if we're all aware of, one of the things that they really have brought up is, like, you know, what are you going to do when Rui and Dorian are at 4 or 5 and you got to space out the offense? Like, how do you guard them? I'm just like, well, I really feel like people just haven't watched the playoffs. Like, or watch like high level situation versus good teams where you can put like your worst defender on Rui. Rui's not a ball creator. Like he's not someone I'm afraid of knocking down shots consistently. I think he's a really good player though. I just don't think he's like one of the players like in the last 5 minutes of the game that's like it's just somebody who's going to help you win that basketball game. I don't think he's that good of a defender either. I think has a good body. Like he's not horrible. I mean, he's probably outside
on a scale
of
from 1 to 10. Swipe on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. Where's Rui as a defender? On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the best.
I think
1
he's
being
worse
the
than
worst.
Dorian. I think he's worse than Bron locked in. I think he's worse than. So in that lineup, I mean, Vando. So he's probably their third best defender between Vando.
So what am I looking
Dorian,
at? Am I looking at a 6, maybe a 7 defender? Is what Rui is, or is that asking too much?
It just depends
Maybe
on the
a
matchup.
5.
I think
if Ruby's their third best defender, that cooked. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Who else is it? Who else is it though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
If it's Ruby, that cooked. So that's all I know.
Yeah,
Fair enough. No doubt. But Penn, I wanted to ask you because, like you said, he can't continuously be this bad. I want to run off the Lakers' next 10 games, and I'm going to ask you, how do you think this ends? Okay, they got Portland tonight. They're in Portland. They're in Denver on Saturday.
Altitude.
Yeah, oh my God, they're in Denver on Saturday.
They're about to lose tonight too.
Yeah,
Portland?
Tuesday.
All right.
Yeah,
Portland's good. They won 6 in a row at home.
yeah, they rolling.
Will you be
Tuesday.
there, Ox?
No.
Courtside? No.
No.
Plug the. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
I don't know. Want to see.
I gave you a softball sponsorship plug, but let's go.
So Penn, Tuesday, Dallas is coming to town. Minnesota is coming to town that Thursday. Friday and Sunday, they got the Clippers both those days.
They probably beat
history.
Dallas because there's no center in Dallas.
Right. They got
There's
New
no
Orleans.
center in
They got there's no center, but they do it by committee. If I'm
They go
when I'm
Moses
watching
Brown.
them.
They just go Moses Brown.
Shout out Moses Brown.
Yeah.
See him All-Star weekend at the Hamilton party.
So Tuesday,
Him and Sharif.
We did.
You Swiper, you was
Alex
over
Len
doing
versus
something else.
Moses Brown.
Actually, we did. They was right in front of us.
This
Nah,
was,
but now we also he was at the crossover event too. Remember
okay.
the G League team was there. Remember?
Oh yeah, we
So
did see it.
Moses Brown get in, but not us.
So next Tuesday, not this Tuesday coming up, but the Tuesday after that, they got New Orleans. That Thursday, they got the Knicks, and then they got the Celtics in Boston.
That's one win that I'm sure they'll get you against the Pelicans.
So one, so the Trailblazers are L, Denver L, Dallas, yes.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, are the Blazers still going to be going after it? Because that's the thing. Are they still going to be trying to make the play in post All-Star? That's really the only question I have.
I mean, they only three. I think they 3 games out, something like that. I think they're like 3 games out the playing spot.
other than
I
that
think he's
Denver
next.
game, he's okay. The hypothetical version of Luka, the best version of Luka, is the best player in every one of those games except for the Denver game. So
the best player on his team.
Oh Lord. Sure.
I mean, I just want to know how do we because you just said it Penn, about
all right.
Sure, fine. I respect Jackson Hayes. Gotta love it, Jackson Hayes, no problem. But what I'm saying is, I want to get back to what y'all was talking about, or what you was talking about, Penn, as far as them meshing. How does that mesh? I'm watching every time I'm watching him. So of the 3 games Lucas played, I've watched 2 of them. One being last night, and I'm just want to know how is that basketball going to be split in half with him and LeBron? How is that going to work out?
I feel like LeBron
think it
can
works,
play off ball
Ox.
though. He's done it with Reeves for
Yeah,
quite a couple years now.
doing it with Reeves. I think he can do it with Jay.
Reeves was closing slotted all those games, and Bron was off ball.
Okay, so now it's Reeves, Luka, Bron.
I agree with you there. I don't think that 3 makes any sense to me.
It makes perfect
Y'all
sense.
just because y'all expect Luka to just turn up, that's gonna carry them through the rest of the season.
This deal was
don't forget this is the 3rd trimester, Penn. Don't forget this is the 3rd trimester, and y'all know in the 3rd
That
trimester,
water could break at any point. That water could break at
it
any
gets
point.
real greedy around this time.
But this is not
That water could break at any point. Yes, it is.
This was I mean, for this season, sure, but they didn't make.
We're talking about the season. I'm not talking about what's going to happen in the next 5 years and 2 and 3 years. I'm talking about this year. That's all that matters right now. The only thing that matters is these last 30 games, give or take a few.
Okay. Well, obviously, this is not a team that made this deal for this season. They made it for the next 10 seasons.
Yeah,
That's how
but
they're looking at it.
we talking about this year though.
And I
Let's
don't
just
Penn, I don't agree with that, Penn. And the reason why I don't agree
you
with that,
got you got
James on
LeBron.
the
He's
team.
old.
You got James on the team. We have no time to waste with James. None
Chill.
whatsoever.
Are you having throwaway seasons with the GOAT on your roster?
No, you are not. They didn't get Luka.
That's why they went to go get Mark. That's why they tried to get Mark. Them going to try to get Mark shows that they're not. This ain't a throwaway.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Penn. I mean, if you look at on top of that, Penn, James comes off the books after this year, so he can step off if he wanted to. So I don't think that they went. I don't think they went after Luka for this to be a throwaway season to possibly lose both James and Luka, because even though you said that Luka could end up in Los Angeles, I mean, I don't guarantee that he's going to sign there. There isn't. There's no guarantee that he's gonna put his name on a contract. He already lost a boatload of money, and I'm not buying the logic that he's gonna make that money back in endorsement. Them endorsements is gonna be there.
He can re-sign.
That money was gonna already be there.
He doesn't have to resign this year.
I'm sure that y'all realize I don't have a lot of respect for JJ Redick and
you
do
not.
Rob Pelinka, but I do want to say that they're not completely idiots. Like, they realize the way to extend LeBron's career is to get him off the ball. To lighten his load a little bit. I think Luka makes that easier, honestly. And if LeBron is open to this, if he was collaborative in making this decision to get Luka here, I think he should see that this is a pathway for him to be a really productive player for the next 2 years. When I say really,
he's already real productive.
I'm saying for the next 2 years, Ox.
Yeah, I know, I heard you. I'm saying, but does he know that? Does Bron think he needs Luka? Are you watching James? LeBron James? I don't want to speak for the man. It's like, I'm just saying, but to me, it looks like Bron don't look like, oh, Luka, carry me for the next 2 years. He's not
saying carry me.
Bro, come on.
He's not saying carry me.
Okay, not carry. I'm using the word loosely, but you know what I'm saying though. Like,
I could say carry Ox. I watched Magic carry Jabbar them last 2 years. Jabbar was over. And Jabbar stepped aside for Magic.
That's the thing though, Chill. Bron ain't over.
But nobody's saying
Bron still got a whole lot of juice.
Over. Nobody's saying he's over, but we can agree that he is a little bit more jump shot centric than he was earlier in his career, where he was more of a downhill athlete. And I think that, the fact that the jumper will extend his career a little bit more as that burst starts to fade in his, early 40s. It's nuts. It's nuts to assume that a player, is this good at LeBron's age. But need I remind you that even LeBron took almost a year to adjust when he went to Miami with D Wade.
It was a disaster that first year. He said it himself. He didn't
it's
know
hard, man. It's hard. Like, when you're used to playing,
they were still a good team, though. I'm saying,
they had
anytime you got 2 top 5, 6, 7 players in the NBA, it's not a throwaway season. This is a dangerous team, like it or not.
First of all, the current version of Luka, out of shape, gassed,
the current version of Luka is not going to be the same Luka in 8 weeks.
Right now.
Can we stop with the Luka being out of shape stuff? Like when how much different does Luka look now than he did 2 years ago?
Very.
2 years ago was rough.
It's not even.
That 23 season. The second half of that 23 season was rough.
You can look in shape and not be in shape though, Chill. You know that.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, this is what Luka looks like anyway. Luka's not going to be sliced up and light on his feet. That's not who Luka is. That's never who he's been.
Slumped over though, Chill. He's gasping for air.
That's because he hasn't played. I don't think that's because he hasn't played. Now, has he gotten himself out of shape because he hasn't played? I'm sure he was doing something.
He needs to watch Rocky.
When he was hurt, I'm sure he was doing something.
Get real motivated, like do skipping and
y'all bullshitting for real.
Get in the gym with Apollo Creed.
Rocky don't make
shadow boxing. It ain't Rocky. The real most motivational one is Invincible. That Mark Wahlberg joint. That's a real motivational. You remember when he went to play for the Eagles, went to the tryout? He was the bartender. Yeah, that's a motivational movie right there.
Get Luka for real.
Get him a motivational playlist. Put Rudy on there. Put Coach Carter on there.
I know we live in a different time.
What is your biggest fear, young man? I don't know. Arby's takeout. Shoot, like, just put it on there.
I know we live in a different time, Ron. But like, if he had some boys that, or maybe even a counterpart that sees him and knows that it's still there, and just snatch Luka by the collar and Luka, let's straight. Let's rough it. Let's go somewhere and let's get this off season where we ain't in the Ritz, we not in the Four Seasons, we somewhere in the mountains and we getting it together. And you're gonna come back to camp and you're in shape and you ready to rock and roll and show people what they were missing. Because as of right now, As of right now, what's the logic on Luka?
But
As
he was
of right
playing
now,
fine before he went down in December, though. That's why I'm confused.
Great player.
About.
What's the logic on him, though, Swiper? Great player, great passer, great scorer. Doesn't take care of his body. Oh, y'all think I'm just a fat slob? That's what y'all think I am. Y'all think I'm just this. Y'all think I'm this guy who doesn't take care of his body. I just show up, and as good as I am, I'm just good off the strength of me showing up. I don't take care of my body. I'm not as professional as you guys think I am. I got to change that narrative. And a counterpart of his, like Apollo Creed did with Rocky, snatch him by his collar, like, yo, let's go. Let's go to. We ain't doing the Four Seasons. We ain't doing the Ritz. We ain't doing none of that. We going somewhere, and we gonna get correct mentally. Where you got to get that fire back.
Brian got sons. Luka, this is year 7. Luka's supposed to be the one. I mean, he's supposed to know the ropes. Brian don't got time to hold his hand. Like, come on,
I think Luka's
what is
mentality.
This? We want Brian to save the Luka Doncic. I just don't see it. Like, I don't see that. Everybody was saying, well, he's gonna get with Brian and he's gonna change this and change that. Luka's a grown ass man. Like, he's not. I just don't see it. At some point in your life, you get to be who you are. You know what I'm saying? And Luka Doncic is not Allen Iverson in the sense of he can't just kick it and then turn the lights on and go get bored. His genetics ain't built like Allen Iverson's. You know what I'm saying? He ain't cut from the same cloth as Allen Iverson.
Yeah,
he can't just do that.
He's not 6 feet tall.
Yeah. Regardless, all that goes into it. Everything, genetics, everything goes into what I just said, Ben. So he's not this, he's not that, he's not from there. Whatever you got to say, yes, sure. That goes into what I just said. He's not Allen Iverson. He can't just drink Hennessy and kick it during the summertime and go to a couple open gyms and then be ready to ball October 20th. Luka need to be in the lab, drinking water, swimming,
but
running miles.
Didn't have
Ozempic. But is it fair to say? Is it fair for me to say when I think about Luka that he might have lost some of what he had, and I got to find out how to get it back?
No,
now, I know what you're talking about.
No. It's a double-edged sword.
Swiper. This trade has clearly affected him, man.
Bro, yeah, but I'm saying, but chill. I feel like we're living in.
Why are we psychoanalyzing these players, assuming that he's sitting in his apartment, like listening to Adele right now, crying?
Why are you fighting that? Just look at his body language.
First of all,
the Lakers.
Okay,
look at his body language with the Lakers. Why is it ridiculous for me to think?
But body language has been terrible everywhere.
Surrounded by baddies
now they bring yellow.
I mean, yeah, like he might not want to be in LA. Look, not everybody wants that lifestyle. But my whole thing is chill. Literally 2 months ago, you can go back and look at what Luka was doing this year. And I'm saying that Luka in December averaged 28, 10, 8, 52, 41, 6, and then 74 splits. And then he got hurt. So he was crazy. Remember, he started off slow or whatever, and then but then in November, 28, 7, and 9. He started off 27, 8, and 6, and then December 28, 10, and 8. And then now he sucks. He's averaging 14, 6, and 5. So yeah, he got hurt. And once he gets in shape and once he gets away from that injury, he's gonna go back to being Luka. I don't think it's that far away. I think we're like a month away. So that's what I'm saying. I don't want people like overreacting on Luka. Luka will be there. The Lakers, I'm saying, are not going to get there. They're going to be. I think again, they're going to play the Rockets in the first round. I think we're going to be 4 or 5 seed or something like that. They're going to win, and then they'll be in the second round, and then they'll get blasted more than likely, depending on who they're playing. So I think Luka's going to be fine though, personally.